Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another weekly episode of Wish You Were Beer, a live beer review show where we find new beers, have new beers, rate them, mainly just drink new beers, chat a little bit about the breweries, about the beer itself, and hopefully have a little bit of fun in between. We'll see how it goes. If you do me a favor, if you go down in the comment section on the page, there's a like and a subscribe button. That would be great if you could do both of those. If you're really feeling crazy, you can share it as well.
And they should probably tap it.
You don't get me started on tapping it.
Smash it?
Nah, smash it? No.
I prefer smash.
But also down in the comment section.
Tap, tap.
No, see, that can't become a thing.
Nope. That's what I'm thinking.
No. Absolutely not. So basically, though, down at the bottom, it also has all of our Untapped information. Untapped is the beer review app that we use, which basically is like the social networking of, let's not kid ourselves, alcoholics. You can check in beers. You can check in where you had them. You can tag your friends who are there with you having it. And if nothing else, it's a great way to keep up on what beers you've had and haven't had if you're like ourselves and have had quite a few. Not tonight, just in regular in general.
And tonight.
We've had the app for a while, so it's
Correct.
okay.
It's okay to have a lot of beers.
Yeah.
Also, down in that same section is our Beer Drop link. So we use Beer Drop to get all of our beers since Phil is in a different location than Tiffany and I. It's a subscription-based service. So you pay for a monthly beer box, and you can change out beers and add beers to what they already recommend and put in the box. It's a great service. We've been using it for a while now. We love it, and it gets beers for us from places that we can't physically go visit currently.
Although, disclaimer,
What?
I did have to change it. We don't get all of them from it.
Well, yeah, that's
Correct.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just procure on our own.
But it
Correct.
helps us get the ones that are a little lesser known.
Correct.
There
Correct.
it is.
Thank you, Phil. That is
Yep.
a big clarification.
Something you can't just pick up at your local CVS.
Unless you're...
The show is sponsored by CVS.
Right, I was going to say.
Don't forget to refill your prescription.
Right.
Oh,
But if you click that link, you actually get $10 off your first order, and so do we. So it's not a bad gig. If you're unfamiliar with it, take $10 off of it. Try it. If you don't like it, you can swear at us in the comment section.
please do. I
Please
love
do.
that. Yeah.
Also, we do have an Instagram and a website as well. Tiffany's been keeping up on the Instagram, so we actually made Bill's Two-Hearted Tacos tonight.
I did.
And
And they're there. I did it.
Yeah, so she did the whole thing on the Instagram account, so you can follow the recipe.
How were they? Were they good?
Amazing. But I also never actually follow a recipe.
I mean, you followed most of it.
I did. I followed.
Yeah.
I just added slightly more spices. I added an extra clove of garlic.
Got it. So you just
I
make it
didn't add-
spicier than it.
Let's
I didn't
say
add
that.
much
We know
chicken
recipes are like always like the blandest version, and then you can kind of
Right.
spice it up.
True.
Also, let's save that for our Wednesday night cooking podcast.
You're right. Right.
No, but on a different note, as always, thank you guys for stopping by and hanging out with us. We got a great guest tonight, which is going to be fun. I, as always, am Daniel. This is my equal drinking partner in crime, Tiffany, and the lovely bearded gentleman on the moon is Phil. How you doing, Phil?
Hey.
Hey. That boy,
So I
pretty
don't
well.
know if you can hear me, 'cause either you or I am frozen, which is a great way to have a show.
You are good.
You're good on my end.
I'm good. Oh, then you guys were frozen on my end. Fantastic.
Well, I am fully vaccinated, so we have 5G here.
Yeah, so it's not
Great.
That's what happened to Bill and Melinda Gates. I finally get Bill inside of me, and they split up.
How's your week been going, guys? You having a good one?
It's been okay. Yeah, it hasn't been too crazy. I mean, normal work stuff, but that's what are you gonna do?
I feel like this week went by really fast.
Yeah.
I feel like the show last week was like it feels like it was very far away, but I have no idea what I've done in between the show.
Okay.
So that's either something super sad about myself.
Right.
Nope, that's just sad. Yeah.
Yep. I was gonna say, are you gonna explore another option? Because I think you hit the nail on
Nope, just sad.
that.
Just a lot of the same.
A lot of the same.
Yeah, we didn't have a normal. I mean, kind of normal, but like we went to Commonwealth on Mother's Day.
Oh yeah. We went to a local brewery here on Mother's Day, and another local brewery after that one on Mother's Day. So nothing too crazy.
So
I think that's really normal.
just another blurry Mother's Day. You know? That's how it goes.
I'm trying to forget that ever happened.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Love you.
Yeah. But other than that, I'm actually, the week did go quickly because I am excited for this show.
I am very excited, like nerdy fangirl excited, which I've discussed in a couple other episodes that we've done where we reach out to the brewery and they respond back and they want to participate in some way, shape, or form, which is always like, oh my gosh, like someone likes us.
Or they just like promotion, you know, one of those.
No, it's literally us. It's us. We're the bubble and we're living in it and everyone wants to join us in the bubble.
Well, they just saw your great spelling on last week's Instagram post, so and they were like, "These guys take this seriously." So.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Grammatically speaking, this is the show I want to be on.
It is a beer show, and if I'm going to be drinking beer, you can't expect me to be completely cognizant.
Fair.
That's all.
Yeah.
So speaking of all that,
yes.
what the hell are we doing?
Boom.
I
just brought it right out. We're doing 2 Hearted Ale.
Yes.
Bells.
And I took this photo for our Instagram, and I was really excited about it.
Tiffany was so excited about this photo. She sent it to me. She was like, "If you need something, here, I've got something for you." As if it was like
anything amazing, I have it.
Yeah, it was a
she is the first person to ever put a beer in front of a fireplace and take a photo of it, according to Untapped. First person.
Well, if you threw a steak in the background of that picture somewhere, she'd be every single Untapped person. I love it. So now we're doing Bell's Two Hearted, which is a phenomenal beer. And the nice part with this week is this is a pretty nationally recognized brand. And I think we got it out there early enough that really everyone could have got it.
Well, that's incorrect.
What?
My cousin informed me that they do not distribute to northern-ish California.
Oh.
She's very upset.
That is upsetting.
I apologize, Kirsten.
We'll see if we can rectify that.
Well, maybe we can find out why.
We can find out why, because our guest this week,
drum roll, please,
is John Mallett. He is actually the vice president of operations for Bell's Brewery. So we can find out exactly why we don't distribute in Northern California.
Let's bring him on and
question one.
There we go. Let's roast him.
How you doing, John?
I'm great.
Yeah. Well, John,
So Tiffany, you just said you were at Commonwealth this last weekend.
Yes.
Do you know Commonwealth Brewing Company was the first brewery I worked for?
Really?
That's very exciting.
What a small world.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
What was your job there?
I was a brewer. I started off in the kitchen and then went into the brewery because I wanted to be a brewer. I was like, I want to check out the brewing thing, and then I kind of went from there. I ended up running the brewing program there, and then eventually left.
On to bigger and better fish to fry, right?
Yeah, I went to brewing school, and I went and ran another. Commonwealth would refer to a state, right? And then I went to a brewery called Old Dominion, which is also refers to a state.
Yep. But
a different state, because that's the state of Virginia.
Right. That's
Commonwealth.
Well, that's the Commonwealth we went to, which was in Virginia.
Yeah, and in 2021.
Right. Correct.
So, I don't think that Commonwealth was there in 1985.
Probably not.
Yeah. Oh.
1985, though, good year.
Yeah.
Good year for you. I was
not born yet.
Yeah.
Glimmer, but a glimmer.
Not even.
Not even a glimmer at that point.
I was like, no, that's where my parents played.
I was just a regret,
Yeah.
1 year in.
So, John, give us a little bit about yourself, man. We've done a little bit of research on you, stalked a lot of your Instagram, but obviously we know you're the VP of operations over there at Bell's. But I know you come heavy from the brewery into things, the industry in general. So give us your best elevator pitch on why you're amazing.
I like drinking beer.
Good. Show's over. See you later.
I've been brewing beer for a long time. Also have been heavily involved with all kinds of sort of professional organizations, and do a bunch of leadership stuff there. Had the opportunity to work at a bunch of different really cool, interesting breweries, and traveled the world and drank beer and talked about beer and all that. So kind of beer. My kids are all like, enough with the beer. Now my son, who is about the age when one was legally able to drink beer, he was calling me up today. Talk to me about this Cicerone program, Dad. You know anything about it? I'm like, yeah, I think I know a thing or two about that program.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Randy Mosier. Yeah, Randy. Yeah, there you go.
That's good, brother. He, he's kind of coming to the age where he'll actually start understanding what you're doing and actually
maybe appreciating
might think you're cool.
Wow.
Maybe.
He took the pretest and got a 96% on it.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So he'll be just fine.
Yeah.
So apparently he's been listening.
That's good. That's good.
Or he's been drinking a lot on his own already, which is,
Dad would not condone that. We are professionals.
This is true. So what year did you actually get started with Bell's? How long have you been there?
So this is my 20th year at Bell's.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I came here. We actually I came here to build our new brewery. So Bell's was started out in downtown Kalamazoo, and then at some point, like, hemmed in by railroad tracks on 3 sides, main street in town on the 4th, and a stream that ran underneath it. It was like, we gotta go somewhere else. So Larry bought a piece of property out in the town next to Kalamazoo, and we built a brewery. And I came out there originally, designed the brewery as a consultant, and we put the plans out for bid. And I always remember the day because it was a beautiful fall day. It was actually a day in September. It'd be the 11th of September in 2001.
Oh wow.
Oh,
yeah. So that was a pretty busy day for this guy.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Everything just going off. And so I've been at Bell's, for all that time since. Always have run the brewing program there, and seen tremendous growth, through that. And the growth I'm most proud of is the growth of staff that are there. We have unbelievable people that work at Bell's, super smart brewery technical folk, and then of course, sales, marketing, finance, HR. I work with a great team. So
now, did you actually ever brew with Bell's, or did you come into like straight off the bat, like sort of in the management end of things?
Yeah, no, I came in to manage things, but when you're managing like 6 brewers and somebody takes a day off, you're running the brew house.
Yep.
Absolutely. I'm very practical and hands-on brewer, and right now, I don't, they don't let me brew at Bell's right now because I break shit. So I actually do. It seems like I do more brewing when I go out and do like a collab somewhere. Like, oh, I get to touch the equipment. This is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm sorry. I could certainly play with the equipment at Bell's, right? But
sure.
I've got a pretty large staff, all over the place, and I think also, the thing I've done most recently in terms of directly making beer, manufacturing wise, I drove a forklift to support the can line, and I ran the depalletizer on the can line. So this was a couple Saturdays. Like one Saturday, we were shorthanded, and I'll come in. I'll run the decal. It's kind of like the low person job, and you have somebody there who's been there for a couple months. Can you show me how to do this? Yeah, absolutely. And, do it. It was pretty fun. At the end of the day, you're like, look at all this stuff I got done. It wasn't all, spreadsheet or Word document or computer yelling. That's my specialty right now, yelling at a computer.
Yeah, that sounds about right, actually. I think that's mine as well.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
How many employees are at Bell's? Because I know it's a big brewery, but how many staff do you guys have?
Yeah, in total at the brewery, we've got about 500, and so we've got a couple of different facets of the organization. So in downtown Kalamazoo, we have we call it the downtown retail campus, And there we've got our general store. We've got the Eccentric Cafe, which is just this fantastic, wild, great, bar restaurant where we do, pretty good sized shows. And we'll put almost 1,000 people in the beer garden for like a really good act. We do some online stuff. Larry started that business, I think it was in '83, started selling homebrew supplies, and we've always sold homebrew supplies, and we sell them, certainly online and in person there. So it's kind of a sprawling organization, salespeople in Southern California, not Northern California.
Yeah.
Well, I've got some people who are very interested in the central area / northern area of California who would love to be drinking
a Two-Hearted right now.
Yes.
No,
I bet we'll get there someday. We just haven't gotten there yet. I mean, we cover a lot of the country, but slow, measured growth and making sure we're able to support stuff and heavy, and we want to make sure we have people there who can speak intelligently about it. So,
are there any rules about the selling the homebrew kit to other states? Because couldn't they technically make the beer in a way?
Yeah, I mean, so some of the stuff on the homebrew side that's kind of cool that we do. We have a very extensive curated raw materials program. So think about hop selection, and then beyond that, like we buy all the hops. I call them flat. So this is in bale form, big bales, 200-pound bales. And then we will take them to another facility and get them pelletized under our watch. So it's kind of like buy the cow here, have it turned into sausage there, as opposed to just buying sausage that you don't know what the cows look like. Or buying a cow and then hoping that your cow turns into the sausage that you receive. So if we're really particular about hops, and we were talking to some of the folks at the general store, they said, could we sell some of those hops? Look, sure, we got enough, no problem. So we actually sell them as like Centennial Select. So this is the same lot of hops that we are using to produce Two-Hearted. And when I'm thinking about hop selection, like that process of going out to the farms and saying like these ones, not those ones. And it's not about we're going to buy the best hop, because we want to buy the right hop. And I say that because, if I looked across Phil, Daniel, and Tiffany, and I said, what's the perfect banana? And Phil's like, oh, I'm totally green. And, Daniel's like, oh, I like them when they're almost black. And Tiffany's like, no, perfect yellow. So what's the perfect banana? And that's what we're trying to do with Two-Hearted.
Yeah.
Find that perfect, maybe yellow with a little bit of black spots, just a little bit,
Right.
kind of hop. So that's what we're doing with, so we sell those through like the general store, and, maybe do kits up for here's what's in Two-Hearted. So
Yeah. I did see that there were like recipes of the month that were being like produced as well. So not only could you get all the stuff for it, but you would actually follow a specific recipe that was produced by either someone in the general store or the brew staff themselves, which was actually super cool, because I would have no idea what I was doing if I'd buy everything and I'd be like, I guess I got to go onto YouTube and learn this.
And I think that's what happens to most people who try to home brew. I
Right.
know I've got some friends and family who have played around with it, and you get one that's really good, and then you get one that's like, no
Or
thanks,
we
that was
boiled out
terrible.
all of the alcohol.
Or now it's just water. So I think having that actual recipe kit is a really solid idea from you guys, and just the ability to share that information without really losing a lot of proprietary interest in it. Like, here it is. Here's how you make this.
Right.
Yep.
So
I tried making my beer once, and it was so bad, and I just said, this is not for me. So when I saw your thing online and you guys like really go into it, I was like, okay, clearly just kind of winging it was not the way to go. So I appreciate what you've done on your website, because I think like now I actually read it and go, I could probably maybe, probably not, but still there's a chance.
There's a chance.
So I do appreciate what you guys have been doing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, passionate. It's something always been there, and that's fantastic. It's pretty cool. That's our roots are very much homebrew, and really support that community, and a lot of respect for homebrew, the creativity that they bring, the quality. We do some pretty cool stuff over the years with them.
Yeah. So that was one of the things I want to talk about, was with like COVID happening and everyone was trying to homebrew. That was kind of it it was almost like everyone was making the sourdough bread. Like they're all trying to like brew their own beer. And so with the beer industry constantly kind of like ebbing and flowing and shifting, what do you guys see coming in the future? And like what's Bell's going to try and shift into doing as well? Or do you think you're solid on kind of picking up on the trends?
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, we certainly are always interested in playing with different styles and different stuff. And, you know, we usually will bring out something, you know, with a bigger push every year. But that's, you know, we make a lot of different beers over the course of the year. And I could talk a little bit about why, you know, how we do that is we have a bunch of different brew houses. And this is everything from, you know, down at our downtown, we've got a little 3-barrel, which, you know, makes just a little under 100, you know, like a little under 100 gallons of beer, you know, if we fully go into that. And then we've also got a 12-barrel system there. So that's 4 times the size. And so we might make a, you know, bigger batch, small, like, you know, throw spaghetti at the wall. Does, you know, would you know, pomegranates and saffron taste good together? Okay. You know, let's do something a little bit bigger. And then out at the main brewery in Comstock, we then also have another 12-barrel system there that is like engineered to exactly emulate our 2 larger systems, which are 50 and 200-barrel systems. So they're all run on the same sort of computer platform, same technology. Like we have highly specialized boiling technology that we use that we've developed at the brewery, and all these things are emulated there. So we have the ability to like scale up. So, you know, we might put 4 200-barrel batches out, and that's a tank, 800 barrels of beer, you know, 1,600 kegs. Or I got the cat. Hold on a second. The cat decided to bring home a small animal the other day, so the cat's not going to be outside at night. The cat's grounded now. It's time to come in. You're coming on. You're coming in. Wildlife is safe.
But so, I already got a 96 on that test, so you know it's
yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, anywhere from like 1,600 kegs down to like 5, and that's a batch of beer. So we make a lot of different batches, and some of them are like, let's blow this thing up. We should take this, roll it out national next year. But it was probably preceded by maybe a small release in bottles in the general store, and before that, it was on draft at the pub, and you know has had different goofy names.
Kind of your individual focus groups that continue to get bigger and bigger.
Like focus groups, if you mean people, sitting at the bar drinking beer and saying, "I'll have another," then yes, that's the.
Yep.
Yep.
It's always if they get a second one, that's always the key if it's good.
Or don't do that again.
Right.
It's really good feedback too.
Yeah. I can't finish this one. I'd like a different beer, please.
Yes. Okay, we're stopping at 5 kegs.
Great. Shut it down.
Yeah.
So Joe, what's probably your favorite moment in your 20 years of being there? What is something that you're like really proud that the Bells did during that time?
Oh, so much. I think about, times when we've had, let me think about this for a second. When we are all together and just celebrating who we are. So we actually, at our 30th anniversary, we threw a party called the Funvitational, and we just selected like our favorite breweries from all over the place, like some international, some national, and everybody came together, and we had the local ballpark, and it was a Ferris wheel, and there was like just the best beer and just huge love of, hanging out with our best brewery buddies from all over the place, drinking beer, walking them through the brewery, showing them exactly what we're doing. That was a great couple days. That's something that, I'll always remember.
That is awesome. So there was 2 things I wanted to cover because I found them on the website and they were super, super cool. And me being nerdy, I was very excited about it.
Wait,
you guys,
is this history and facts?
It's not quite history and facts.
Okay. That's my favorite time clip.
No, I wanted to talk about the sustainability efforts, and then I wanted to talk about the equity, inclusion, and diversity efforts you guys were all doing as well.
Yeah.
I think they may be in the trivia questions.
Okay.
I want to just jump into those. If not, we can hit on them. And then we're also going to have links to those sections on the brewery in the bottom section or whatever, the comment section. What is it? I don't know how to social media.
The description.
Down
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah.
Down here. Like, no. There'd be a lot of different comments.
I have hands on. That's fine.
I do not.
Well, yeah. Why don't we get into some of the trivia questions,
Yep.
because I think some of those bleed into it. And John, we'll refer to you on the trivia questions because surely you have all the answers.
Yes.
Oh, I thought I was asking trivia questions to you.
Oh no, I did not study. I got a 40 on that same test.
So this is the kind of like the introduction of how Bell's became Bell's. So Larry had his 15-gallon soup pot, I guess. And so he decided to start brewing through that. And so one of the beers, the beer that he made first, they still have a variant of it out. So which one was it? Was it the APA? Is it an amber ale, an IPA, or a Hefeweizen? Or a wheat?
I mean, if I had to guess, I would probably say a Hefeweizen, but
Okay.
I'm an idiot.
Well, you do have to guess. That's part of the game.
Oh, I do.
Trivia. Yes, that's how we play this game of
See
trivia.
that, Bill? I went D first, so good luck.
You took it from me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the amber ale for absolutely no reason.
Fair.
Yeah.
And surely, John, you know the answer.
It's
We stumped John.
Not C or D. We've always brewed. Amber's been our flagship. Was our flagship for many years. And back then, I'll also tell you, having been through the brewing books, I don't really know if we really knew what we were doing back then. So
that was in some of like the story. It was like, well, we kept trying and we eventually figured it out. People kept actually wanting to drink the beer eventually.
Somebody read through some of the early brewing books and you're like, oh my God, did anybody? Okay, well, I'm sure.
It's like reading an old medical book. What do you mean they bled him? Like what? What?
But yeah, so B, the amber ale was the first one.
All right.
Next question: true or false? In 2020, Bell's Brewery and Two Hearted Ale won first place as the best brewery and the best beer for the fourth time in a row.
I do know this one.
You should,
and that is true.
I know they've won, but I don't know about the 4 years in a row. But you went so confident, Daniel. I'm going to join you.
That's how I mislead everyone, Phil.
Yep,
You're welcome.
I'm going with true.
It is 4 times in a row.
Yeah, American Homebrewers Association and with Zymergy, they do an annual poll. So we run for the 4th year in a row. We actually had won second place for the prior 7 years.
I know that.
And,
wow.
And the other beer that was the number one was Pliny.
Yep.
Which is a great beer.
Awesome friends, Vinny and Natalie. And we just switched places and we've been hanging there. So I'll tell you, it is a great crew to be together with them. We are super good friends as breweries, as friends, as travel companions. It's really good to be.
I think that's one of the best things. So we have some close friends here that are involved in local breweries and other friends abroad that are involved in it as well. And I think that's kind of one of the through lines that I feel like I've really gotten from everybody that brews beer or works in that industry is that everything is obviously competitive from a business standpoint, but good Lord, everyone hangs out. Everyone's exchanging ideas, like brewery to brewery, person to person. And I can't imagine doing that in my personal line of work. That seems like it would be outrageous. So it seems like a really cool kind of benefit of that industry.
It is my favorite part as well, because that's not how things work in my world.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
NDAs and things don't tell anyone.
Right. You got another question?
I think there's a couple more questions, but we can just jump in. Oh yeah, no, this is actually one of the questions that Vero was like, Tiffany, I need you to find out why is it named Two Hearted. So, you didn't. It's 1997, I think, was the year.
Yes, I like the idea that Larry invented this in 1999. Is that
1999? I'm pretty positive.
Yeah. I think it was 97.
Well
Anyway,
done, Phil.
so multiple choice. A, Larry caught a delicious bass with 2 hearts. They believed you would need 2 hearts to fully love this beer as much as Larry. The hops used to brew the beer look like hearts since they grow in 2s. Or there's a river in Michigan's Upper Peninsula named the Two-Hearted River.
I am 100% going with D.
That's how they made the other ones really, really, really tricky.
This is a tricky one here. But I'm going to go with D as well, and I'd love to hear more about it.
Is it D?
It is D.
Oh, I was like, don't mock me.
So I was not drinking while I made these questions. How
Is it D?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
So your website had 2 different things, but that was the one that was in the Two-Hearted section. But in your history story, it had to do with English malts and a Wisconsin hop.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find it anywhere else, so I was like, it must be the other one.
So the name is there is a Two-Hearted River in northern Michigan, and the beer is referencing that, but it's actually what it's really referencing is a short story written by Hemingway.
Okay.
River, which is a story of war and remembrance, and the through line, the short story, and basically the through line of it is this guy and his best buddy always go to the Two-Hearted to fish trout. And the 2 of them go off to World War I. And now he's returned from World War I and he's fishing the stream alone.
Right.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
I wrote very sad things.
So Hemingway was a great trout fisherman.
Mhm.
And, that was clearly the stream he fished, right? But any really good trout fisherman, he didn't write about the stream he fished. Here's this other stream. It's called Harded. He didn't. Yeah, so.
Never fished there or never caught anything there. That's why he's like, yeah, that's what
that's what I'm writing about. You go pick that one.
That's fantastic.
Stay out of my river. Yeah. So we've got a bunch of Larry's super well-read, literary. This is the inspiration for a bunch of our beers or our art. And although the river's beautiful and I love paddling, it's just, middle of the summer, man, that thing is so gorgeous. And the story's pretty good too,
Yeah, exactly.
My guy apparently could write.
Well, there we go. We didn't read that anywhere.
That was not anywhere. No,
Yeah.
I did some digging and I was like, there's 2 of them, but the English malt one was only mentioned once. And it was in the history part, and I was like, I don't know.
Well, what they did is there was a guy in Wisconsin who's growing hops. He called Larry up and was like, "Hey, you want to buy some hops?" Larry's like, "Well, sure, why not?" Who the hell knows what kind of hops the guy was growing? This is super early, and so he brewed this beer with this English malt and just called it Two-Hearted. Well, later on, the hop Centennial was released. It was a public variety. First release, it's like, check this out. And so we had a brewer by the name of Rob Scala who pulled together a recipe initially that used this 100% Centennial hop, pretty new hop at the time, and some good malts, and brewed a nice IPA, and it was really good. People loved it, and when it comes out, it's like Larry's like, "What are we going to call this thing?" Oh wait, well I had this other beer. We'll put that name on it. We haven't used that name in a long time. and so nobody has a remembrance of it being, this is the exact beer. And so that's how that name came to be fit with that beer. And man, has that beer, done just super well and tastes super delicious and looks like this. It's not been opened yet.
So we're on the same page. Mine's just in a bottle.
Yep, mine's in a bottle as well.
Oh, wait, you cheated.
I think a different one.
Phil,
Let's
Yes.
get to it.
there's a cutscene for this.
For what?
Let's drink this damn beer.
And you're fast.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
I let Tiffany pour my beer because I am so bad at this. I spill it everywhere every time. Now, Tiffany's a big fan of putting these beers in specific glasses. Is the tulip glass best for this?
No, no. I mean, I just. This is the glass I happen to grab. It's a glass I like to drink out of a Rydell glass, and yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
I love this beer.
I know.
So I'll come right out and say it. I have had this beer once, and I did not know that I was having this beer when I had it. So, John, just so you get a little backstory, I'm not a serious beer guy. Haven't been. Like, I've always just enjoyed it. Daniel and Tiffany drink a lot more and got more into it, which got me into it, which made us kind of start the show so I can kind of learn as I go. So that gives you a little bit of that. I've drank a lot of beer in my life, but I just never really paid attention to it.
All right.
But I did. So I didn't think I had this beer because I had ordered it. I checked my Untapped. I had ordered it on draft, and I just didn't think this was this beer, even though I've seen it in the stores a bunch. But just didn't put two and two together until tonight. So this is my first time like having it, I guess, really knowing what I'm having.
Very nice.
Sure.
So I can't imagine a better way to have it than to be sitting here with you right now. Unless my response to it is just terrible. And then this is just gonna be bad. You know, that is...
1.2 it or something like that. Or...
Well, so Phil stuck with his original Untapped rating from years ago. He hasn't looked at it or changed it, so it could be low. We don't know.
Actually, we have a lot of debate about whether or not you can go back and edit, but at least for the show, we have to come in with what we had. So I actually don't know what my score is, and I'm going to look it up a little bit. But let's see.
All right. So what do we get on the nose of this beer, John? I mean, compared to maybe another standard IPA, what's going to be the separation point on this one?
I think about there's a for me I get like a rose geranium, like a really nice floral note to it. Certainly there's a good citrus in there. Right now it kind of sits in that kind of lemon moving up to an oranger fruit. Like a Somata.
That's an interesting lemon moving up to an orange is an interesting way to look at it. Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think there's actually a flavor continuum that I experience that moves from sort of lime through lemon through orange, as grapefruit kind of thing, and then after it gets to like roasted grapefruit, it starts to move towards cherry for me. And for me, this is like this. It's a continuum. It's a spectrum, and we're picking up flavors all along that spectrum, and we're looking for all those flavors when we're selecting hops to do this. So I'm getting a bunch of citrus, and I'm getting some really nice floral stuff in there. There's always like a little bit of pine in the background that I think just kind of pops it up.
For me, it's my favorite. I mean, that's one of my favorite. Anything piney for me is I'll have it.
And then most importantly, like a little bit of like a malty malt flavor.
You're the godfather of malt too. I mean, that's your jam, isn't it?
One of them, yeah.
So is it the mallet or the mullet or mallet?
No, so mallet and malt are related.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So a mall is something you mash something with, right? Yeah. It's malleable, and if you take barley and you stick it in your mouth, you like break a tooth. But if it's been malted, it's mellow, right? So it's you can crush it. So they're all related to like crushing, like easily. Like malt is easily crushed in your mouth, unlike the barley it came from. A mallet crushes things, so it's the same root.
Interesting.
English lesson.
So you literally were just born into this, and you had no choice then, really.
Yes, that's correct. I think so here's another funny story. So my family, I'm originally from New England. Not that far from where Phil grew up.
Sure.
But part of my family came over on a Mayflower, and then shortly after they had a tavern on the Merrimack River. It was a crossing there, and the they had the tavern. They were called ordinaries. So an ordinary had to have food, it had to play stable, it had to have beds, and they always had to have beer as well. So you had to have those things. They were mandated, and they mandated also that what you could sell beer for, and it was like you could sell it for 4 pence for a pint of like made with X amount of malt, like 2 hogsheads of malt. And then they changed the law for a little while that allowed you to make a stronger beer and sell it for more. And so this ancestor of mine, Dionysius Coffin, she made stronger beer, and then they like rescinded that law, but she didn't stop brewing strong beer and selling it for extra money. And she was eventually pulled before the magistrate and fined for doing that. Now, later, they also sheltered some Quakers, which was a nasty thing to do, to allow Quakers to stop in a rainstorm. And they were persecuted. The Quakers actually went to Boston, and they were hung on the common, hung by the neck until dead. But apparently the family said, we've had enough of this. And they, along with a couple of other families, sailed in an open boat across Cape Cod. Cape Cod at that point had a little passageway through it. And they sailed through the passageway and landed on Nantucket. And they were the first, settlers of European descent. So that's how that's the history going back to there. So apparently back in the 1600s, selling strong beer for too much money got you in trouble.
It's pretty much like Virginia then. Still. Yeah,
So you were like literally born to do what you're doing in a sense.
Right, yeah.
It's like this is a long lineage.
Yeah, there's a long gap there in between where we each got a living fishing,
That's fun.
All right, so listen, we're gonna have to rate this beer, and I'm really anxious to see Phil's rating.
Well, you guys go first. You have your ratings already, right?
Yeah, so my rating's already up. I had this.
Well, while you guys talk about yours, I'll get mine up, and then we'll see where we go.
Okay. So I had this many years ago, actually, and it was funny because we had it right around the same time or close to that we were in California and actually had Pliny the Elder for the first time as well.
Yeah.
We kind of had them relatively close to each other, which was fun because it actually gave us we can try these close enough together to be like, oh, this one is better.
What
this
that one is.
Yeah, exactly. But I had this one, I think, for the first time in 2018. And I'm a huge IPA fan. So for me, this one is just perfect in the sense that it is a 7%er. That's right in my mid-range that I like to drink an IPA. It gets double than that. I got to have like one and I go to bed. This one, I can have a couple of them and still enjoy it. And it is exactly what you think of, or kind of the standard, in my opinion, of the IPA. When I have an IPA, it should at least taste like this, and then whatever they do with it otherwise, great, whatever. So I gave this one 4.25, and that was like 3 years ago.
That is the same rating I gave it as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, so I checked it to see what I had rated it because I was like, oh my gosh, like John Mallett's going to be on, and I'm going to talk about what I rated this beer.
So you did the opposite of what I did. I was like, John Mallett's going to be on. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
No, because once again, I got like weird nerdy fangirl, and I was like, oh my god, like I gotta talk to people who know things. So I went and I checked, and because I had just taken that beautiful photo, I added the photo to the beer.
Oh, so you kind of edited it, but not your rating.
I didn't edit the rating. The rating is still 4.25, and in the same sense that this is kind of the industry has really kind of taken IPA, and they've gone in 800 different directions. So there are so many different styles, and people are trying to, make it like a sour, or they're making it a dark IPA, or they're making it hazy, and it's really nice to have a like clean, slightly floral, slightly citrus, slightly piney like beer that it fits into like the small like IPA bubble of like what the classic IPA is. So I'm actually changing my rating to 4.5.
I thought we weren't editing.
I'm allowed to edit.
Okay.
This is not my first marriage. I'm
That's
allowed
true.
to edit.
That's true.
So, and I rarely rate anything 5 unless I'm just that drunk.
Yeah, I think that's where
That's
5
kind of
comes
where my
into play.
5 is it's like I've just had too many.
For me, anything over 4, like 4 1/4 and 4.5 is like my actual highest rating, because
Right.
5 is like, oh, I'm shithoused and I had this beer and that's the last beer I remember and I had a great night.
Right. Or
Right.
like my palate is completely
Just wrecked.
destroyed,
Yeah.
and this is the most delicious thing ever, and then I have it again and I'm like, what?
This is sherbet. I just ate sherbet. Yes, it is.
This is juice.
Yeah.
No
All right.
wonder I liked it. But yeah.
Phil, I'm so excited.
Okay.
Come on.
So let me first say that, like I said, when I checked this beer in, it was one of those. I'm at a bar. Let me just check this thing in real quick. Not really thinking about it too much. Like, yeah, check in.
Great.
And then the only people who follow me are Daniel and Tiffany, anyways. So I was like, whatever. And
Like a Band-Aid, man. Off.
I'm proud of myself. I gave it a 4, just a solid 4.
Look at you.
I
Yeah.
know. My heart was racing.
Drop the bomb, and damn it,
Like
it's a
one bottle cap.
Right.
But I was not a big IPA person at that time, which probably states that, I mean, that's good. It's like I wasn't a big IPA drinker. So the fact that I had this and then still gave it a 4, I'm happy with it.
That makes sense.
Now I'd definitely kick it up to the 4.25. I'd definitely jump it up a bit now that I've had more.
In other IPAs, right?
Yes, there's the word.
You would no.
Yeah. I will find you. No,
So that does give us a
You
show
can hide
rating.
on the moon, but I'll.
You'll never find me up here. This guy won't tell you.
Awfully quiet back there.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to tell you his rating. So that gives us a show score of 4.25 then.
Yep.
So what do you think of that, John? Is that all right with you?
It's fine with me. Yeah.
Oh, that is so funny.
I drink beer. I don't do a bunch of beer rating. I think it's awesome that people do.
Yeah.
But, I get enough beer in my world.
And like we kind of mentioned, in our previous conversations too, I think it really is. If it was somebody commenting or judging my work, I would be so pissed off about it if they're like, "Well, you're not doing that well," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, check the bank account. Well, I think we're doing pretty great, but thanks for the 1.25, you jackass."
Yeah.
Now, I do have to say, and I'm not a huge fan of this packaging. I'm going to say it.
Really?
Well, I'm not a fisherman,
Right.
so
Obviously.
I think this is why I'm gonna bring it out, because this is now I feel like I'm in one of those places where I can. What did we call them? Oh my gosh, this is great. I'm doing well, guys.
Curmudgeon.
The bubble.
Yeah, the tester in a sense. Like, why have I not had this beer prior to this? Is what I'm
Right.
saying. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's just the packaging.
Really?
Okay.
So for you, Phil, if it had some naked woman
I don't
on
know
it,
who
you'd
froze.
be like, "Oh, I
John, is
love
it just you and me now?
We're good.
So for me, this is why I understand the packaging now that I've heard the stories, now that I know, and I know who this is for, and I know most people would. But literally, just because of packaging alone, I have not purchased this beer.
Interesting."
Is it because it's just not like bright and doesn't like pop out on you on the shelf?
Probably,
Yeah.
and that's probably a big part of it is that, there's so many beers now and there's so many people fighting for that vision. But that's why I knew I had to have this beer, and I see how many people respect this beer. And I think the packaging fits that in a sense. It's not that bright. The beer sells itself. I'm just saying from from someone who didn't know anything about it, that's why I've literally just walked by it all the time.
This is interesting.
It doesn't speak to me personally.
There you go. We need to make the Phil-hearted beer.
Yeah.
You let me know.
Disco Inferno, Neon Surprise.
Yeah.
Power.
Hey, listen, remember that conversation about your small barrel system where you just throw some spaghetti at the wall and see what happens? Send us a Phil-hearted beer. We'll send you some money for the barrels.
All right.
I'll tell you right now, I think I've bought every beer that has a beard on it. So, you know, it's if it doesn't speak to me, I'll walk right by.
Well,
right.
well, listen, it is
8:50.
Yeah, it's 8:50, John, and I don't want to interfere with your other engagement. So, I personally just want to say a huge thank you for coming on and hanging out and having a beer with us. I think that's really great, both for the industry, for your brewery, for everyone to be personally so engaged. Because we've reached out to some small breweries, some bigger breweries across the board, and literally you guys got back to us in like less than 24 hours. It was like, hell yeah, we'll be on there.
Yeah,
No problem.
shout out to Josh.
Yeah, Josh. Yeah, he was great as well.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. You know, really appreciate being able to work with him.
Yep. Is there anything that you want to plug or want to say, or anything that the brewery's got coming up that you're excited about that you want to just throw out there?
Yeah, I mean, we're always rolling different beers. You know, one of the projects we've been playing a bunch with is the Larry's latest Flamingo Fruit Fight, which is actually named after a Captain Beefheart song. Playing with sort of like
This already sounds like a beer I'd buy. So
yeah, got a couple of flamingos on a fruit fight.
sold.
Right there. Well, you know, the label might be a little bright for you, Phil. Yeah, but you know, so we're playing with some different fruits and just you know that fruit acidity is just so bright and really fun. Great beer for the summer. You know, just great quenching and in your face, and so that's a beer I'm enjoying right now.
I think that's at our Kroger.
Yeah.
Because I went through and tried to find what beers were near us.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So we'll let you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we find it, I'll let you know how we like it.
All right. That sounds great.
Well,
Talking poop or whatever we're talking about. Beer.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can do it in person one day soon when we're on our way out through Michigan or Phil's out through Michigan. Would love to catch up and have a beer, man.
Absolutely.
That sounds fantastic.
Other than that, enjoy your other engagement. And again, cheers. Thank you so much for joining us.
Cheers. Great to have you.
bye. Thank you.
Hi.
Oh, yeah, we're still live, right?
Yeah, apparently. We still have some more show to do.
I forgot about that. No, actually, yeah, that was great.
Oh, my gosh. Oh,
Sure.
I like that we ended with me bashing on the label, by the way. Thanks, guys.
Well, we were running out of time. He had a clock, and I didn't want to hold him up. But you're
was
also
like-
the asshole who brought up the bashing the label. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we'd love for you to do our marketing, Phil, for our giant company. Yes, we know you're, on the moon, but would you mind coming down to our level and doing
Look,
our advertising?
You can't just praise. You got to give a few notes,
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but you got to make it the shit sandwich. You got to put the shit in the middle, and you got to have stuff on the outside that's good.
Well, I
It's like
put the shit out there, and no one backed me up with some nice stuff on the outside. You just were like, "Well, see you later, John."
So
I
wait,
thought it was a fair thing to say.
Oh no, it absolutely
It is,
is. But I will always give you a hard time about any decisions you make.
True. That's why I love you. That and your good looks.
Thank you.
And this pink hat.
I do love this pink hat. It's my favorite pink hat.
It's beautiful.
Do we have any Untapped reviews? I am interested in that because I think.
Yeah, let me just not spill a beer over myself. Yeah, we do.
You got one job.
Says the guy with literally one job. All right, so this is the part of the show where we go through Untapped and we find reviews that we either like, don't like, or just find out what other people are talking about this beer. Go for it.
This is amazing to me.
This is the one that I was telling you about that I was like, I found a really funny review and I'm sorry I didn't send it to you.
Oh, good.
I love this check-in for so many reasons.
What's your number one reason? Let's go through there.
Mainly the gentleman in the background of the picture with an already broken chip and who looks extremely sad that he's about to be in this photo. I don't know if he's upset about the chip, the stretched out shirt neck.
Yeah, he's in that commercial of it.
He's
Like, where he's
the
on the
V-neck
date.
guy. He's like, oh, it was a V-neck.
She's like, oh, nice shirt.
But then also the check-in alone grammatically is terrible. And then also, yeah, it's okay. It's an okay dinner beer. I'm never gonna have 4 after I'm 30, but I'll give it a 4.
No, until
I'm above 30.
So he's basically saying that he's in his 20s.
Oh,
isn't
I
his
read
beer.
it wrong then. Okay,
Yeah.
even better then.
Right. He's basically saying anyone who enjoys this beer is like an old 30-plus-year-old.
Well,
no, but what I'm confused about is like if I'm like so after 30, 4 beers like that, I'm pretty much done. Like, but in my 20s, I could have pounded these easily. So I don't understand this thing. Like,
I think he's just talking about it being the IPA factor. It seems like maybe a.
he's probably a young hip guy who likes bright cans and
He's drinking a lot of White Claw.
a lot of hazy stuff and juicy.
Yeah.
If it's not juicy enough, not for him.
He's at a bar that appears to have either just a terribly concreted floor or potentially plywood. I don't know yet.
Baby squirrel.
I'm going to assume Gabriel's talking about this guy because he just thinks he's such a cool guy.
Gabriel loves the chip guy. I assume Gabriel is talking about the guest we had on. However, I also think with that profile picture, Gabriel is normally out to eat with this chip guy. Gabriel, is this your check-in? You have a camera and ass account?
I saw this one too.
Now, I am a New Englander, and I don't understand this, but I love every second of it.
Yeah.
So it would crinkle the cardigan of a New Englander. And I'm like, I understand it, but I don't. But at the same time, I love every second.
I also love, this is obviously in a bathtub, by the way. That is the edge of the tub and tile.
He says, but it's not an airport beer. I assume he's at an airport.
If that is the backer bar of a urinal at an airport, it
might be.
That's what it also looks like. That does not look like an airport bar. Who's sitting in a bar facing the wall with a shelf on it?
It's
I think he's at a urinal. I think he brought the can in. He brought the glass in. This guy takes his shoes off on the plane barefoot. Like
that is exactly who this person is.
Yeah.
Hold my beer, urinal.
What does not an airport beer mean though? What to you?
So this is a twofold thing because I always find a place that has like local beers in the airport because there are places that do that. But what I would assume with an airport beer is something very standard, very like domestic beers. So like your standard top 5 to 10, whatever. So, Bud Light to Corona, basically somewhere in that like spectrum of light beer, relatively flavorless.
So maybe this guy's from one of the 8 states that this beer is not sold in. And so when he found it, it's like, this isn't an airport beer. It's not a classic
airport beer at all.
Yeah,
he just thinks it's some. He felt the packaging, but this is not an airport beer at all.
Next,
you're never gonna live that down now. That's
I know. I'm gonna get so destroyed. All right, what's this one say?
Not as good as my memory. Give me the hazy hobby beers.
I don't know.
I had to throw in one that so many reviews about this beer were positive. I wanted to find one that wasn't as positive. But this is your classic example to me of like the new age beer drinker who doesn't appreciate the old above 30 IPA.
Right. Yeah, fair.
He's like, give me the juicy, give me the hazy, give me like, I don't like it to be harsh.
I love all those variations of beer, but they all come from one place originally, so and it's an IPA.
This is the same conversation we were having when we were discussing the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Right.
It's like your it's the OG. Like it is what everything else has stemmed off of, which is the same thing that this is. This is like where everyone started, and then they just branched out like crazy. But this is like the hub.
Yeah.
This is Jackson Hartfield. This is the Atlanta airport. It's the hub.
Hotlanta. That is my favorite airport, just because of chicken and beer.
I know.
For the record, if you want chicken and beer,
on.
it's in the Atlanta airport, and it's a fantastic
Oh,
restaurant.
Phil, you and this person should hang out. No flashy art. Just really good IPA.
Yeah, but I appreciate the no flashy, no gimmicks as well. So, but I think he looks at it from a different perspective. I think he bought this beer because of that reason, where I didn't buy it because of that reason.
That's fair. Yeah. This person is obviously a supporter on Untapped because he can give it a 3.85.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Because look at that little bottle cap that's almost full. Not quite though.
Man, must be nice.
God,
this guy must be loaded. He must be loaded.
That's what you're gonna get for your birthday next year, I guess. No. Untapped.
So now that the guy that you love so much, Tiffany, is gone, what do you think of the actual branding of this beer?
So I'm also not a fisherman. So I have never fished, actually. I've attempted like one or two. No.
It's on our list.
100% we can.
That's our Thursday night podcast about just Coors Light every week.
If you'd like to come over Saturday morning around 9:00 when I start yard work, we can review Coors Light all day.
Okay.
13 times.
Continue, Tiffany. Sorry.
Anyway, I don't fish, so I didn't understand that was even a trout, which is why I made the delicious bass comment, which is definitely it's fine. Anyway, I think so this reminds me of like camo hunting, like outdoor wilderness man.
Oh, so both the West Coaster and the Northerner completely shut it down. They're like, nope, no thanks, Kyle.
I don't want to look like one of them. That's what I thought to myself.
They scare me, and they probably have a gun, and I'm obviously not carrying a gun.
I actually got a Bell's with the first shotgun I purchased, so that's
no. So I don't think it's as flashy, but in the same regard that you turned away from it, it was something that I was like, well, that's interesting. Like, why is it different?
Because it's in an aisle full of things that are jumping and like doing,
Yeah. But, then I'm also dating Daniel, which was kind of like, in the sea of all the other men, he was just there.
There was one with two hearts. Who could love you more?
And it was Daniel.
And he's dying because of it. Those two hearts.
Don't kill you. Two hearts is really bad for you.
I mean, I'm just gonna say, like,
it's a bright colored packaging. Look at this head.
Yeah, naturally.
I mean, I think for me, it's not like I think the beer is gonna taste like fish, but you put a fish on something.
In your head?
Like it's fish sauce in a can or a bottle.
I think what's also hard for me is I'm going to keep digging this hole, but it's almost like
I don't think you can say that anymore.
What's the thing?
Digging a
hole? I misunderstood you. I apologize. I heard you slightly wrong, and it may just be the lag in the computer, and I was like, good Lord.
I heard it correctly. That is just you.
I heard it incorrectly, and I really hoped that's what you said.
Nope. Digging a hole. I got you, Phil. Keep digging.
I think the whole graphic design of this bottle is just not good. I mean, I hate to say it. Like, thank God the beer is so good, and I think that's why it has lasted so long. But like, sure. This, like, where you cut off the fit, like, just from a graphic perspective for me, I struggle with this bottle because it's like the fish is like half cut off. It's not like a good looking photo of a fish.
Can't fit a whole trout on a beer bottle, idiot.
Like the orange with the outline, and then like, I'm sorry, but like the bells on top, like, it's someone who has never heard of this brewery before prior to this, because I am not a beer person, which I'm very open about. I drink a lot, but I've never really looked into it. just very thrown off by everything. Is this from Philly? Bells. I put
Interesting.
everything about it throws me off.
Nothing,
But-
and which is funny to me because nothing about this packaging would throw me off from a beer.
Well, yes, but
I'd be like, oh, IPA, beer, I'll have it.
Also, do you guys know the difference between an American IPA? Is that just what they threw on there, or is that?
it's the America. So remember we were talking about how the India IPA was originally from England, and they were like putting extra hops in the barrels when they sent it over to people who were in India trying to colonize. The American IPA would just be the American version of that English IPA original.
But
So
not
it's
everyone throws not everyone's like American IPA when they make an American
I agree.
IPA. So that's just what I was wondering.
By the way, not alone. Other people heard what I heard.
Wow.
This is fantastic.
A lot of hazy IPA folks also like living with their parents into their 30s while pursuing their liberal arts degrees.
For the record, me and Phil moved out from our parents' house very young and also pursued liberal arts. We didn't get into this till after we were 30.
And now I love hazy IPAs. We got another one.
All right, let's see it.
What's this one say?
No, it's the same one.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm doing great, guys.
We did
No,
that
wait.
one too.
Oh, that's the last one then. That's
Perfect.
what threw me off.
I'm glad we got to rehash that just in case we missed anything. Thank you, Phil.
You're welcome.
Um,
Doing great.
All those reviews were from the year 199.
Hey, by
Is
the
that
way,
right?
no. Look at the Google Drive. Look at
Oh,
it.
it's 199?
Is it
Yes,
mine?
it says 199 because I made sure to copy and paste so you could never call me out. I didn't call you out in front of your.
Happier than the idea that Tiffany made a typo.
Yes,
It's
and
right now.
I didn't call you out in front of your boyfriend, the Mallet, but in the back of my head, I was like, oh, I could call her out on this, but I'm not.
Oh,
I'll
you
take one.
100% should have.
I'll take one for the team, and then I'll make up for it at the end, and I'll make fun
Somebody
of
got
her.
to keep digging that hole.
Gotta keep digging it.
Oh, you said digging. Okay.
This is a great show.
Hey, Phil, do you have a wish you were beer this week?
Oh my gosh, we have gone on so long. I totally
Yeah.
forgot that we actually had to do.
This has been a very long show.
So you do have one though.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go third.
Nope.
No, I just said that. You guys didn't call it. I called it.
Yeah,
No.
Wait, I was touching something else. That's not fair.
He was digging his
Digging that hole.
hole.
Yeah, I feel like you always go last because I think you think of this right before we do this. So you get to go first this week.
I don't think that I should be the one going first this week because if I go first, everyone's used to me going last at this point.
Good
So-
God. Whatever you do, I'll do it. I'll
No.
just step up.
There
I'll
we
be
go.
the leader,
Thank
and
you.
That's fine.
Why did you have to be the man to step up?
Because that's a saying.
Oh, wow.
I'll be the female with the way stronger ovaries and uterus, and that's fine.
Of course you have stronger ovaries and uterus than me. I don't have them.
Yeah, but
If they weren't stronger than mine, it'd be bad.
I'm just saying, I can take a kick, and it's not going to literally kill me.
That's fair.
So way stronger.
Okay, go.
So my wish you were beer is it's social media this week. So as we mentioned earlier, I have been taking over the Instagram account. I have pretty much strived for the last couple of years to just not do social media other than like posting pictures for my grandparents to see my kids and me in my life. So I've had to like relearn the social media account thing, and then there's the like added pressure of it's a like professional account, which means I need to like represent the brand of what we're doing.
Spell correctly.
Yeah, see? It's just too much. It's too much for me. And that's really hard. And I don't like being bad at things, especially as like the token millennial in my office of like I can do anything computer related. So I don't know if it's the platform itself that is just not user friendly, or that I'm comparing myself to actual people who do this for a living.
Right.
I don't know, but it's been a rough week for me trying to like remember to post things, and then I realized that I could schedule them because I finally Googled it, but then I had to like link it to my Facebook page, but that means I had to unlink my Instagram, my personal one. So now I gotta create a freaking Facebook page for this thing. I gotta do the Facebook thing now. It is it's just too much.
It's a dark rabbit
for me,
hole. No.
and I don't like it.
That being said, follow Tiffany on Instagram.
It's great.
It's great.
Today I was like super into it, and I will say Vera was a huge help. She was like coaching me through the whole thing. I did the two-hearted tacos that I had posted. I cooked them and I did a whole story on them. Probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense because I still have no idea what I'm doing, but I gave
all
it
the
my
clips are in the
best
wrong
shot.
order.
So I'll give you a little tip from someone who has to run social media for
And for some
a
reason,
job.
hold on, I was the one that was selected to do the social media.
Yeah, because I run other ones and I hate it just like you do. So I was like, I'm not doing this one. But I will tell you, what you're doing is great. You're doing a great job. I really appreciate it. And also, what drives someone who does it as for a living nuts is when it works for someone who's just like, I don't know what I'm doing. And it actually ends up working more for that person because they're just like, they're so casual about it, where the person who's like trying is like the worst.
Well,
So keep doing it.
This.
You're doing great. You are. And I'm not bitter about your social media skills at all.
So Phil also wishes social media went down.
Mine's I'll go next because you thought I didn't have one, and I do.
I 100% did not think you had one, which is why I wanted you to go first.
I had one. I thought about it at 4:00 this morning when I woke up to a crazy cramp in my calf.
Oh no, Charles.
Yeah, just that one where you like clinch and you start punching shit, and you're just like, and you're like, relax, dude, relax. It'll go away if you relax, and you can't relax because it hurts so
you're yelling at
much.
me.
Yeah,
Trying to switch it out, but it's just this.
yes, and then of course, because I'm an old man in his late 30s, mid. I don't even know where I'm at anymore.
We're past mid, Phil, but thank you.
Okay, great. I, of course, at that point, I'm cursing, and then I go, if you had only drank more water, like, because that's literally it. So I had spent the day drinking beer and just went, I don't need water. I'm still in my 20s. And so, of course, I wake up at 4 a.m. to a cramp in my calf because I'm so dehydrated from just drinking beer all day like an idiot. So I wish water was beer so I could just drink beer and I'd be good to go.
Fair.
Daniel got a cramp the other day while we were driving. For
In
the same reason.
my clutch foot too. So it's in my clutch foot. So normally, like when you get a cramp, you can put some weight on it and like stand up. I'm like hitting the dead pedal because I don't need to change gears right now. We're like on the interstate. I'm like, I can't just throw it into neutral right now. It's 60 plus. Like I'm gonna get run over. My leg hurts so bad. That is funny. I know we are getting old. And I don't know what this is referencing, but whatever you want is fine.
But Gabriel, what kind of banana is your favorite? Is it green? Is it yellow, brown? Maybe with some spots. Get back to us. Does Annie agree with me on the water thing? I'm behind on the comments, but
No,
I
she
think that
agrees
was
with
about my
social
social media
being terrible.
I know Annie, and I'm pretty sure it was not about social media. So that's a joke. I do know her.
That's a joke that you do know her, or a joke that you do?
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Okay,
Daniel.
good. I'm gonna go to what I wish was beer.
No. See, she said the water. See, so clearly
obviously the water. Perfect.
I'm just saying, everyone's on my side on this one. Social media is the worst.
I love social media. I have so many accounts. That's why.
And yet we're on social media currently filming this show. So
this is actually one of my only social media accounts. So there's really one thing I wish was beer this week, and it would be the Colonial Gas Pipeline.
You was gonna go with something really relevant.
Mainly for one reason.
He wants to get famous on this one because the Dogecoin thing didn't work.
No, not because I'm not worried. Like we have gas, that's no problem. Like 52% of Virginia's gas stations are currently out of gas since late last night, clean through today. But the real reason I wish it was beer is so that I could just go out like every other dumbass did, panic, hoard, buy all the beer, and bring it home. There were people filling up plastic containers of fucking gas. Okay,
plastic bags, I heard.
Well, that's an old clip, but yes.
Good, loads of gas.
But the thing that kills me is like, so I grew up in the eastern portion of Virginia, which we have, true story. We have hurricanes with some regularity. That's a great reason to go buy multiple containers of gas. I'm going to be out of electricity for a week. I need a generator. I need multiple 5-gallon containers of gasoline. The news goes, there could be a gas shortage. And then everyone just freaks out and actually makes a gas shortage for no fucking reason.
What's the same thing with the toilet paper?
Exactly. It's the same people.
It's a
somewhere next door to us, there's someone with a stockpile of toilet paper being held up by containers of gasoline that they're never going to use.
It's great. It's great living on the moon. I don't need either of those things.
Yeah. I hate you so much. What are we doing next week? Because we're let's go.
Oh my gosh, we're way over.
No, I don't have to pee actually for the first time at the end of the show.
You're fidgeting a lot.
Yeah, I'm just sweaty.
We are doing this beer, Galloping Juice number 8 from Telluride Brewing.
I'm excited about this, both from the Kia reference to the word Galloping Juice.
It's actually a city in Colorado.
Oh, it's not a Telluride is a Kia, though.
It is, but it is actually a city.
I didn't know what you were talking about. Continue.
Kia makes an SUV called a Telluride, and I got very excited. I got very excited that they made a beer called Galloping Juice because, horsepower, beer. Nobody's following me on this one?
Keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that your brain just went right to a Kia Telluride.
I mean, it's right there. It's Telluride.
Sorry. Continue. Sorry. Continue. Whatever we're talking about.
We're doing Telluride Brewing's Galloping Juice number 8 next week.
Yes.
Why is it number 8?
It's one of their experimental strains. We'll discuss it more. I did read up a little bit on it. I did also send them an email.
I read up on the wrong Telluride, apparently, and that's fine.
Annie wants to know when a gluten-free beer is coming.
Well, we did.
So we did Stone.
Oh, yeah.
Weeks ago.
Yeah, way to watch every episode, Annie. It's only once a week for an hour and a half.
And so Stone, what is it? Their delicious IPA?
You tell me.
Yeah, it was a delicious IPA. Is gluten-free.
It's technically
Stone. Yeah. But yeah, we should add another gluten-free one down the list.
We could do like the omission ones. That whole
the omission one's pretty easy to find.
Yeah. We'll do one of them.
We'll do some research.
Thank you for your feedback.
True story.
We never get any, so we appreciate it.
Well, I'm looking forward to that beer. I love Telluride. I went out there a few years ago and it's an amazing place. I can only imagine the beers. What?
Why do you have a Kia?
A new one at that a couple years ago.
You live in the city.
You shut your mouth.
Try home brewing beer live. Well, so home brewing takes a while. It's kind of like a long process. I don't know if you want to just hang out for a couple weeks live. That sounds like a lot of work.
That sounds like Gabriel's homeless. Try home brewing live. Let the boys stay in your house. Watering the plants. All right, Phil. Come on.
All right. Well, we appreciate everyone watching tonight. Tonight was a cool show. I mean, it's always fun. I'm always shocked when people want to come on and talk to us, and I think it was so great that he came on. How fun was that? I mean, it's just so great.
Your boyfriend, Phil.
He's your boyfriend. He's not going to be mine anymore because I bashed on his label. So no one wants a fish on the beer, but now I get to do the fun part. Everyone, I appreciate everyone who's here, who's watching, who's joining on the fun, who's commenting. To support us, the best thing you could do is subscribe, hit the little notification bell, go to our website, see what we got coming up. We've got I think 6 weeks out at this point, and that's only going to grow. So, subscribe, like it, share it, let other people know we're doing it. It's fun. Is that everything? Did I hit? Oh no, it's smack that, or is it tap that? What?
No, I was gonna say we could also some of our beers we did get the queer beer box from.
Yes.
So that's gonna have a lot of our beers in it, and it is still available.
Yep.
So if you want to join us on some of our beers, we are gonna do beers out of that box.
Yes, and also a great cause to buy that box from.
Yeah.
It's all the local breweries that support the LGBTQ plus. It's a really. I was very excited to buy that beer, or that box of beer.
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think, is that everything, guys?
Yes.
It's 9:21. That was a long one, but
I'm 28 minutes past my bedtime.
All right, guys. Like, subscribe.
Smash
2 hearts.
subscribe.
Fish huddle.